joined from Mahashatra by Assistant Professor at National Law University, Vinay Kumar. Welcome to Q News Economic Bulletin, sir. Sir, how do recent geopolitical and economic trends between China and India influence the trajectory of their bilateral relationship?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you? You didn't hear the question. I'll repeat it again. How do recent geopolitical and economic trends between China and India influence the trajectory of their bilateral relationship, sir?
As far as the trade between India and China is concerned, it is far less when compared to any other country because of the border conflicts between India and China, and because of the the border dispute that was prevailing from 1960s onwards. There was a very less uh, you know there was very less uh, trade that was registered between the two countries. It was hardly around $15 billion of trade that is taking place between India and China today. Uh, but considering the tariffs of the United States, which are imposed by the President of the United States, that is Donald Trump, there may be major push for the trade between India and China because uh, the recent exchange of dialogues between the foreign ministers and the secretaries of the different departments of India and China, and the recent visit of the foreign minister of China to India. All these factors may contribute towards the boosting of the economic relationship between India and China in the near future. Uh, you know, there might the Russian intervention to resolve any kind of disputes between India and China. Of course, India would not be ready to accept the mediation of any third party between the relations between the two states. But even then, considering the SCO and the meeting between the Prime Minister of India and the President of United States, the President of the China, and the
President of
President
Russia, sir.
of Russia, it have a positive. It will be having going to have a positive impact. Let us hope for the best as far
Perfect,
as the
sir. Got your
economic.
point. Sir, how do the recent geopolitical and economic developments between China and India shape their bilateral relationship and regional influence?
The bilateral relationship between India and China are dictated by the border disputes between the two states. So, in case of the economic cooperation between two states, accelerating between two states, from 1962, when the war between India and China has taken place, uh, there was not so much bilateral, economic trade between the two states. But later on, keeping aside the bilateral, the boundary disputes between India and China, and moving ahead with the economic cooperation between the two states, there is a huge potential for the bilateral trade between India and China, because China is the largest, China is the second largest populous country, and India is the largest populous country in the world, and both are the Asian big brothers, we can say, and both are going to, one of the top five economies of the world. So, in fact, there is a huge scope for the bilateral trade between India and China, especially economic aspects are concerned. Uh, Considering the tariffs of the United States, there might be a push uh, for the economic cooperation between the states, which in fact make the relation between India and China the bilateral relations between India and China to take a new turn from now, uh, because uh, because if you look at China, it is now controlling the EV industry. It is controlling the battery industry, which is going to drive the economy of the different states in the near future. So it is we see a positive trend, bilateral relationship between India and China, especially after the Trump in arbitrary decisions to impose tariffs on India.
True, sir. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your intake, and of course, I got your intake. I'm from Maharashtra. That was assistant professor at National Law University, Vinay Kumar. Thank you very much for your insights and valuable knowledge, sir.